I flew here all the way just to see you guys.
Hi.
And, I'm so excited. I love working with girls. I have a mentoring program called Legacy Builders as well in Atlanta, and I love working with young ladies and empowering women. I brought along my little new mentee, Brittany, that I adopted when I came here in March. We met on the plane. It was her first plane ride, and I loved her personality, and I was like, you gotta come. This is great. So I'm so excited to be here and to teach you guys some of the concepts about the making of a mogul. Okay? This is going to be interactive, so we can talk. I'm going to ask you guys some questions, shoot some things out to the crowd. You can add some of your own little personal stories as well, so you don't have to like sit there and be like quiet. Okay? Okay, so I actually made M.O.G.U.L into like a little acronym. Okay? So these are the things we're going to talk about today. So the M is maximize your money. O is obtain good credit and ownership. The G is goal setting and get that money. Okay? The U is understanding money and understanding risk. And the L is learning from your mistakes. Okay? Okay, so these are some terms we're going to use throughout the session. A mogul is an extremely powerful, respected, and wealthy business person. A recessionista is a person who is able to weather the ups and downs of the economic downturn. They can still succeed. A bargainista is a person who's able to find a bargain on almost anything. An IRA, has anyone heard of IRAs? Okay, individual retirement accounts, so we're saving for our future. And REAL, that's actually an acronym that I created, which stands for Realistic Expectations About Life. Okay? So we all have goals, we all have dreams, that's wonderful. But what we don't want to do is be like, I want to drive a Bentley and I'm working at McDonald's making $7 an hour. Like, that's not realistic. Now, you can start at McDonald's making $7 an hour, work your way up and own some franchise, right? So, but we have to be realistic about what we're trying to do and how we're going to get there. Okay, so some of the keys to maximizing our money are, 1, budgeting. Everybody here probably pretty much knows what a budget is, right? Yeah. Tracking your expenses. We're going to talk about cutting costs, bargaining and negotiating, and then finding deals. So, why budget? Okay. So, what are some reasons that you guys may create a budget? What are some things that you might need a budget for?
School budget.
Okay, school. So some of us may be going to college or have some things we need to get for school. What else?
Having your own place.
Having your own place. That's a great one, right? We're in New York City. It's like extremely expensive to live here, right? So we got a budget so that we won't be like homeless. Okay? So why budget? It helps you manage your money, teaches you how to eliminate unnecessary expenses. Sometimes you can have your budget and you can look at it and you can see, okay, you know what, maybe I'm spending too much money in this area. I need to cut back. You know, maybe I ate out a little bit too much, so let me cut some money from here. It shows you where your money goes. It helps you save for larger purchases. So like we said, okay, we want to start with an apartment, but eventually we might want home ownership, right? Eventually we may want to start a business. Eventually we may want to make a large purchase like a car. So that budget is going to help you get there. And then it encourages you to make wise decisions. So, tracking your expenses. This is one of my favorite exercises to do. If you're one of those people who you like have money and you don't know like what you did with it or where it went, you know. I was over here talking earlier and the person I was talking to said, yeah, in New York, like you leave out and you like spend $20 and you're like, I don't know what I did. Okay, so tracking your expenses is a great activity to do. And basically what it is going to show you like where is your money going. And you can do it really simply. You can get a notepad and just write like date, item, and amount. And do that. And write down everything you spend every day for like a week. When I say everything, I mean like you go to the store and get like a pack of gum, write that down. Okay, if you pay your cell phone bill, like whatever you spend money on, you eat out, write down everything you spend. And then at the end of the week, look at that list. And you can actually categorize it. Put all your food stuff in a category, all your miscellaneous, all your shopping. And you can see like where your money is going. You'll be able to see like, ooh, wow, I spent like a whole lot of money eating out. So this is like a great activity to do to see where your money is going. I would recommend you do it for at least a week. And be honest. Like, don't be like buying shoes and not putting it on there. Okay? You got to be honest so you can really see what's going on. Looking for deals. Are there any people in here who look for deals? Okay. Good. This is a key for me, in my opinion, to how to become a mogul, because there's going to be times that you're going to have ups and downs, especially those of us who want to be business owners. Sometimes the money is flowing real good and sometimes it's not. So we need to be able to look for those deals so that we can still have the things we want, look good, and still have the money in the bank. Okay? Budget monthly for annual expenses. So we have annual expenses that we have every year. Some of them might be like car tags if you drive. Every year you're going to have to pay for that. So what you can do is, if you know your car tag is $300 a year, you can actually budget for that monthly and say, okay, I'm going to take $40 out a month or whatever a month, so that at the end of the year it's like not a major expense. Find inexpensive ways to meet your needs. Bargain, negotiate, and compromise. Okay? Y'all are in New York. Y'all can do that. Bargain with people. You don't have, just because it says that doesn't mean you necessarily have to pay that, right?
Right.
Don't be scared. I hear some yeses. That's what I'm talking about. Don't be scared to open up your mouth and ask for what you want. And the key to bargaining is always ask for less than you really want to spend, right? So if you're somewhere, you see this great outfit, and you really want to spend, no more than $20, don't ask for 20, be like 15, and then they're going to come back higher, okay? And then trade and sell what you don't need. I'm a big fan of this. Like, in Georgia, we have like Plato's Closets. I'm sure y'all have all kinds of stores like that here. If you know you have stuff in your closet that you're not wearing, stuff that you're not using, get rid of it. Make some money off of it. You know what I mean? Take it, trade it, sell it, use the difference for something else. Okay, so maximizing costs by learning when is the best time to buy items. Okay, so right now we're getting ready to go into the fall season, right? So as far as clothing, what kind of clothes can you find like great deals on? Summer clothes. Like they give us this like free. Summer stuff is like being given away. So now you can be buying your summer clothes. Find out what days that your stores have markdowns. Okay, so you actually can go to your stores, Daffy's, TJ Maxx, or if you do your little shopping, and ask them, what days do you mark down your items? And they may have a certain day of the week, Tuesday, where they say, okay, on this day we're going to mark stuff down, and go shopping on those days. See, what y'all get messed up on is a lot of people shop on the weekends. Y'all shop during the week. That's when they have the best deals. Shop during the week. Electronics, okay? January is a good time to buy electronics. If you're in the market for that flat screen TV, you're in the market for a new cell phone, that is a great time. You do not want to buy in February a TV. Why do you not want to buy in February?
Because they're bumping it for income tax.
That, and what comes on TV in February that everybody goes out and buys TVs for? The Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. They actually mark up the prices in February. So January is a great time for electronics. If you're buying a car at the end of the month, they're trying to push the stuff out the door, y'all. People got quotas they got to make. So if you go to the car dealership on like the last day of the month, they are like going to try like everything in their power to put you in a car. So they're like, really trying to wheel and deal with you. Utilize coupons, okay? Yeah. Does anyone use coupons?
Yeah.
I like that we're in the age now where you don't like have to cut stuff out. Like you can show your cell phone and be like, you know what I mean? I'm loving that. So you can utilize coupons, get 50% off. I found out Conway had a coupon like on your cell phone, like 50% off an item. I was like, great. Buy store brands. Okay, so grocery shopping and things like that, some things might not be as good, but a lot of the items, they have money back guarantees. So if you buy that ice cream and you don't like it, just take it back and get your money back. Okay, but be willing to explore, open up your mindset. You don't have to have the Breyers ice cream all the time. Okay, and then remember that cash is king. When you have cash, you're able to open a lot of doors. So this is where like the savings comes in, which we'll talk about more. But people are more willing to negotiate with you. They're willing to take less money for an item when you actually can present cash. Okay. Does anyone have questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can work on saving money on. Purchasing books. So we know we have all kinds of websites, right? We have the Amazons and things like that. sale. You have the scalp mobs, groceries, coupons. You have certain stores that'll have the buy one, get one free. Car repairs, this is a big thing where women, you know, I don't want to be sexist, but sometimes they take a little advantage of us, okay? So I would recommend that you get more than one estimate. If you have a car and they tell you it's going to be this amount to get it done, go somewhere else and get a second opinion. And sometimes you may have to bring your male cousin or boyfriend or whatever with. I mean, that's just real. Don't be taken advantage of. Utilities. I always like this one. I know a lot of you guys, your utilities are kind of in your rent, but if you're somewhere where you have to pay separate utilities, it can get like really expensive. So keep your little thermostat set. In the winter, does anybody know what your thermostat should be set on in the winter?
7.
It should be 68 in the winter, which is kind of cold. Put on a sweater. And 78 in the summer. Okay? And you actually use electricity when stuff is plugged in. So you know you leave your cell phone charger in and all that stuff. Unplug all that stuff. Unless it's like your refrigerator, stove, washer, and dryer. Just unplug stuff.
What about
Okay?
your TV?
It's using
I heard
electricity.
that. I heard that.
It's using electricity. You can cut like 30-40% off your bill just by unplugging stuff. And like light bulbs and stuff, you know, they have the energy efficient light bulbs. It actually does affect your bill. Travel, one of my favorite things to do. Hotwire, Priceline. I mean, there's so many websites that you can look on to get discounts on travel. And even you all are like young and finding all these opportunities. Look for internships and programs that will pay you. Like when I was 20, 22, I looked for programs to pay me to, I need you to pay me to go overseas and work for your company. You know what I mean? There's opportunities where you can actually make money and travel, you know, get both experiences in one. Planning parties and events. If you're one who likes to plan parties, like if you like to do a big holiday party, go get your little decorations the day after the holiday. Like the stuff is like free, 95% off. You know what I mean? And so you can save money on decorations.
Wow.
So then I want you to maximize by bargaining, negotiating, and compromising, okay? Once you've found bargains, save and invest the difference. This is a big one that a lot of times we don't do. We'll like have a certain amount, like I'm gonna get these new boots, you know, and I have $100 for these boots. And then you buy the boots on sale for $35. And what do? We say, I'm gonna get 3 pair of boots. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, okay, I just saved $65, which is what we all are aspiring to. Say, okay, I found my boots on sale, I'm gonna save the difference. Negotiate prices on clothing, cars, and homes. I have a friend who tells me she does car buying parties, which I thought was an awesome concept. So basically what she does, she gets a group of friends together and they go to the car lot and then they like ask the salesman all kinds of questions and bombard him. Like, what's the warranty and what's the this and can you show me that? And so then he doesn't run game on them. So I thought that was great. Get your friends together and go. Remember that delayed gratification plus short-term sacrifice equals long-term reward. So basically what that means is sometimes we can't have everything right now. We might have to forego some things so that in the future down the road we can get what we want. You know what I mean? Right now you may have to, you know, pass up on some things so that you can plan for your future. Okay? So these are some of our discount stores. Does anyone do thrift shopping? Ooh, y'all need to get on. Thrift shopping is the move, y'all. Yes. I go everywhere that I travel. Like I went to Dubai and I was like, I need you to find me the flea market. Like everywhere I go, I find thrift stores. When I came here in March, I don't even know where I was, but I was at some thrift store and I found a Diane Von Furstenberg dress for like $7.
What?
It was Goodwill. And then what was the other dress I found? It was a sack something. But I love the thrift stores, y'all. People give away stuff like crazy, like that you wouldn't believe. So, you know, come outside your comfort zone sometimes. You got to look a little more. But you can find some great things. Consignment shops, sometimes you can go there if you need like a great suit. You can find very high-end items, purses. I got a Derek Lamb bag, didn't know who he was. Was just like, oh, this is nice leather. I like it. Look at the hardware. And I was asking the saleswoman, I was like, well, can I get a discount? Because it was like $165. And I'm like, discount diva, super cheap. And she was like, honey, it's a $5,000 bag. And I was like, can I get a discount? So she gave it to me for $150, and then she sent me to the store that she got the bag from, brand new, and I'm walking around the store. And they're like, is that Derek Lamb? And I'm like, it is. And they're like, bringing me $1,600 pairs of slags. I'm like, baby, I can't bust a grape up in here. But that's okay. You know what I mean? And I found that at a consignment shop. So, I mean, you can find great things. Moving sales. I do trade parties. That's something you can do with your girlfriends. Get together, everybody brings items, and you trade them with each other. I've got, like, St. John's, like, brand new stuff that people don't want. It's crazy the things that people don't want. So, you know, you can get together and you can get stuff for free. Everybody brings some items and trade it. Resale shops, pawn shops, vintage shops. You know what I mean? When you go to the store, the first place that you should go to
Clearance rack.
is clearance rack. Absolutely. Y'all got it? Y'all got it. So now we're going to talk about obtaining good credit. So the first thing I want you to do is choose one major credit card, okay? If you can, apply with your bank. That's like the best card to get, or if you have a credit union account, apply with them to get a major credit card. What are some of your major credit cards?
Chase.
Tell me the name of the
Discover, Visa,
Discover,
MasterCard.
Visa, MasterCard. Thank you. Those are major cards. Everybody needs one of those, okay? Apply for a store card. So your store card, Macy's pretty much gives anybody a card. Get a card with them. That's a way to build credit. What you want to do is charge something, a small amount, you know, say $100, and pay $20 a month for 5 months and pay it off, because you want to show you want to build a credit history, okay? Carry no more than 10 to 50% balance. Basically, once you put more than 50% of whatever the amount of credit is on there, your score starts going down. So if you get a credit card and they give you a $1,000 line of credit, whenever you get over that $500, you're starting to go down, okay? The lower the amount that you have on there, the better the score. So if you have 10% on there, that's excellent. But make sure you stay under 50%. Pay small increments to show you have the ability to pay. Do not skip payments. Do not skip payments. Do not skip payments, okay? I know sometimes we think, oh, I'm getting a refund. I'm going to pay off the whole amount. I get a refund in 3 months. Don't do that. Just pay the $20 or whatever the minimum payment is. Because basically, when you took out that credit card, you signed, that was a contract. And in that contract, you said, I'm going to pay this minimum payment every month on this date. Okay, so pay your minimum payment. And think about loan repayment terms in advance. This goes for cars. This goes for student loans. Anybody in college or going to college?
Or graduate.
Well, if you can get scholarships, please. But those student loans, y'all, it is so easy to sign on that dotted line if you're not thinking about the fact that you just took out $48,000. I mean, think about this stuff. It has to be paid back, okay? So just be thinking about this stuff in advance. These are the 4 C's of credit. Okay, you have character, collateral, credit, and capacity. So character is like you. Do you have a job? Where do you live? How long have you lived there? Are you stable? Okay. Your collateral is, do you own anything? Right? So like someone who owns a home, they're more likely to give a business loan to. You have something basically that shows that you have built some credit. And what happens though is if you don't pay that business loan, they will attach it to your house. Okay, credit, do you have other credit? And how have you paid that in the past? Have you paid on time? Have you been 30 days late, 90 days late? And then capacity to pay. Again, that goes back to, you know, are you employed? How much money do you make? That's going to go into how much credit they give you, right? Because you don't want to give someone a $10,000 American Express and they make like $2,000 a month. That's like, that doesn't make sense, okay? So those are the things that they look at when they decide how much credit they're going to give you and when you start developing your credit score. Because everyone in here has a credit score. Do we know that? Everyone has a credit score, okay? If you don't have a credit score, you will have a credit score at some point, okay? And then this is some of the things about obtaining good credit. You have good credit versus bad credit. And I kind of switch this up a little because a lot of times people, when they think bad credit, they think, you know, I didn't pay this bill on time, so it gives me bad credit. But I look at it like this. To me, good credit are things that can put money into your pocket, and bad credit are things that take money away from you. So for instance, if you take out a student loan, that technically is good credit. Why do you think that's good credit? How can that put money into your pocket? Go ahead. Go ahead. Absolutely. In the hopes that you're going to have a career that's going to increase your income, right? What about getting a credit card at a store? Is that good or bad credit? Who are you making rich? Are you making you rich or are you making somebody else rich?
Somebody else.
Right. What about a house?
It depends.
Come on now, girl. Tell me why it depends.
Because you can advance yourself and you
Okay.
put money in your own pocket and rent out the rooms downstairs and upstairs. But also, if it's not on your property, if it's not your land, then you're making somebody else rich.
Now you went deep on me. Okay, that was good. Your own personal home is not necessarily an asset because even when you own that home, what are you always going to have to do?
Taxes.
You're going to always have to pay taxes. You're going to always have to maintain that home. So you're always paying into that home, even if you don't quote unquote have a mortgage, right? But that rental property that you have, hopefully, if you have a renter in it, a tenant, it's going to make money. Hopefully you're, in a situation right now, we see a lot of stuff going on in the economy with mortgages. Hopefully you guys can take advantage of this thing in the next 5 years, get you a property, rent out a piece, and make you some money, okay? That would be good credit, okay? One of the things I want you to make sure that you do is pull your report and your score annually, okay? And this is just important because there's all kind of fraud being done. People get social security numbers, y'all, and they run amok. Okay, so you want to pull your credit report every year. This is a website that you can go to, and you can pull it for free, annualcreditreport.com. Okay, you can pull your report for free. Now, you have to pay for the score. I think the score for each, and you shouldn't pull all three, but at least pull one. Is about $12.95. Sometimes they have these little memberships you can sign up where it's like a free 30-day trial and you can get a free score. Just make sure you cancel like the next week. Put it in your phone on your planner and cancel. But pull your credit report at least once a year at annualcreditreport.com. Okay, you want to see what's going on. You want to make sure that nobody took out a loan in your name or turned on lights and didn't pay the bill. You know what I mean? So check your report. Does anyone here have credit so far, a credit card? 2 people. How are y'all doing with those credit cards? Good. I heard one good. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, so now we're going to go into the importance of ownership. Okay, so what about these? Are these assets or not? A car.
No.
What's an asset, first of all?
Something that's worth something.
Something that's worth something that you own. Okay, so a car.
No.
Yeah, it's an asset.
Not really.
If you keep it out of your asset.
But once you drive off the lot, it loses its
Is a
value,
car worth
right?
more or less as time goes on? Typically.
Less.
Typically. Unless you have like this,
Modern
1960 Ford Thunderbird, something that's a classic, right? Typically it's worth less. If you go get a car today, you drive off the lot and you bring it back a week later, you're not going to get what you paid for it. So a car it can be an asset if you own it, but it's a depreciating asset, which means it goes down in value, right?
Right.
What about property?
Yeah.
We kind of talked about this, right? Okay, so investments, what about them?
Yes.
You have some stocks and bonds, can be assets, right? Jewelry
Yes.
typically goes up in value. What about businesses?
Yeah. You can blow it out. Yeah.
So what are some of the benefits and challenges of owning these? What's the benefit of owning a business?
But it's yours. You can do what you want with it.
It's yours, you can do what you want, right? You have unlimited potential to make income versus maybe if you're in a certain career where they say you're going to make this amount at this step. That business, you can make as much as you want, but what are some of the challenges with that?
Maintaining it.
Maintaining it, and what happens if that business doesn't make any money that month?
The money you lose.
Right? And you have to pay employees first before you pay yourself. You can't call like the electric company and be like, my business didn't make no money. They want their money, right? So there's pros and cons to all of this stuff, right? But ownership is a big thing with being a mogul, owning things, owning businesses, owning properties. Okay? So this is a look at some non-traditional assets. Buying individual stocks and mutual funds, buying real estate or real estate investments, gold or precious metals, foreign currency, and buying into a franchise or business. I would suggest before you got into any type of investments that you like did research, take classes, like don't get out there blindly and just invest, right? You want to, just like you put time into your education, like we go to school for like 12 years to get a diploma, and I'm not saying go to school for 12 years, but don't just get out there and be like, hey, I'm going to put $1,000 into stock, because it's probably not going to be a good idea. Okay, they have games and things that you can play, stock market games and websites and things that you can go to so that you may be able to practice on learning about stock and how to pick them and things like that. Okay. Okay, so what's important to you? What are some things that are important to you guys?
Finishing high school.
Finishing high school. Yes.
Graduating in June.
Graduating in June. Okay, what else? Okay.
Yeah, college. Graduating college in June.
Okay, what else?
Building my brand.
Building your brand?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, honey. What else? Anybody else?
Finding a job that makes me happy and that will benefit me.
I like that. Finding a job that makes you happy and that will benefit you. Anybody else?
Like ultimately being comfortable.
Being comfortable.
Like financially, like in your business and stuff.
Okay, cool. Okay, the reason why I asked you this is very important with goal setting, and one of the things that I say is most of the things that are important to you, they're going to fit in one of three categories, okay? So you have health, relationships, and lifestyle. So I heard building a brand, being comfortable, things like that. That's going to be under lifestyle. You know, family, things like that. That's going to fall under relationships. Mm-hmm. And health, right? Because if you don't have that, you know, as we heard earlier, not walking for 4 years, that might put a little damper on some of the things that you're doing. And the reason that I bring this up, because we're getting ready to talk about goal setting next. And it's really important when you set your goals that you relate them to what is important to you, because that's going to be the thing that drives you to achieve them. You know what I mean? If you know you want to have this certain lifestyle so you can do X, Y, Z with your family, or you know you want to have this certain lifestyle so that you can have the freedom to travel, or you know that you want to do X, Y, Z because of whatever, that's going to push you. When you have those days that you don't want to do anything, because you're going to have those days, we have those days, but you're going to think about, okay, this is my goal, and this is why I have to get up early in the morning even though I don't want to, or this is why I may have to go do this job that I don't want to, but I'm able to save money to push towards this goal, okay? So make sure that your goals are linked to what's important to you, okay? And then we have three types of goals. We have our short-term, our intermediate, and our long-term, right? So your short-term goals are going to be anything that's 6 months or less, okay? Your intermediate is going to be anything that's usually, let's say, a year to 3 years. And then your long-term is anything longer than that. Okay, so if we put it into financial references, your short-term could be, okay, I want to get a job making $10 an hour. You know, your intermediate goal could be, you know, I want to graduate high school and make $50,000 a year if you're a senior this year. And then maybe your long-term goal could be, I want to retire independently wealthy. Okay, or I want to be a mogul by the time I'm 30. Okay, so that's how you can break it down into financial goal setting. So one of the things about goal setting is you want to make sure that you're creating a plan of action. You want to have many steps on how you're going to achieve those goals. So what are the steps? If your goal was to, you know, get an apartment, what are the steps you're taking? Have you applied for a job? You know, are you saving a certain amount of money each month? Are you getting, you know, building references? Do you have any other credit? So when they pull your credit, you know, you don't have, it's clean. So you want to take steps to achieve your goal. And then again, real plans. Be realistic. I want to be a millionaire too. But I knew, you know, from certain things that I was doing in my career, I knew I'm a social worker by trade. I heard someone say they want to be a social worker. Great, I love it. Love working with kids. But I knew that the lifestyle I wanted to live, I needed to do some other stuff on the side. Right? So I was like, okay, I have to have some other additional streams of income. I had to be realistic with what I was trying to do. Write your goals down and place them somewhere visible, okay? I like the vision board thing because it's something that's visual that you can see. If you have certain goals that you have, write them down. Put them on maybe your mirror in your bathroom, because you know you're going to look in that mirror, right? Put them on. I heard somebody say, that's right. Put those goals on the mirror, so when you're brushing your teeth and you're doing your eyelashes, you can see those goals every day. Write the vision down and make it plain. You need to be able to read them. Examine and review your goals on a consistent basis. Right? So it's great if we have them written down, but we need to review them and say, okay, is this still my goal? Is this still what I want to do? How have the steps that I've taken got me closer to that goal? Do I need to reevaluate it and change some things up? Okay? And then adapt to your goals as necessary. It's okay if you adapt them. You know, it's not written in stone that you have to do it like this. And link your goals to what's important to you. Okay? Okay, we're going to do a little scenario. You receive a $600 windfall. Woo! Money! Okay, you owe your mom $100 because your mom was so nice to buy you that new iPod, and she gave you $100 toward it. And you have $500 left over. What would you do with it? Who's going to spend the whole $500? Tell the truth. Thank you.
Nah, I really wouldn't though.
2, thank you. Who's going to save the whole $500? The whole $500, right. Okay, what about save half, spend half?
I'm saying that my mom will do that.
Okay. And then invest in or buy a business. Nobody.
I was 500.
What do you think a mogul would do? They probably would invest and buy a business.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason I say that because business ownership is what really drives society and what builds dollars. You know what I mean? I like number 3 too because I'm a person, I believe in balance. I believe, you know, I'm not like I'm going to go on a diet and I'm not going to eat no fried food. I can't have no candy. That's like so unrealistic. No carbs. I love pasta and potatoes. That's never going to happen. So my thing is balance. You know, you can have pasta every day, but you might be able to have pasta like 2 days a week. You know, so I believe in balance. I really like number 3 too. But investing in buying a business, that probably would be what I'm going to do. Right? Oprah buys businesses. Diddy buys businesses. He has multiple companies, right? Okay? Get that money. Favorite part. One of the big things you want to do when you're building wealth and setting financial goals is get yourself in the habit of paying yourself first. Okay? So what this means is whatever money you get before you spend it on anything else, you need to take something out for you. Okay? What you want to strive for at some point is to get to 10%. You might start with 1%, and that's fine. You might get $100 and be like, I'm going to save $1. And that's fine. Take that dollar and put it in your savings account and don't touch it. Eventually, you want to get to the point where when you get that $100, you say, I'm going to save $10. Okay? People who want to be comfortable, do 10%. People who want to be wealthy, do 15 to 20%. Okay? Create an emergency fund of 6 months' expenses. How many of y'all know emergency happen? Right? You have this thing in your mind, and you're like, you know, I'm going to do X, Y, Z with this money, and then like your tire goes flat, or, you know, something happens. So you want to have an emergency fund, and the reason you want to have that is if you don't have it, what happens is we end up going to our credit cards or borrowing or getting ourselves in debt because we didn't have anything put to the side. Financial experts say that you want to have 6 months of living expenses, which most of y'all don't have living expenses yet, which is wonderful. So if you have a job, you really should be saving. But think about living expenses, how much living expenses would cost. And when I say living, I mean basic. I'm not talking about cable. I'm talking about like your rent and utilities. If you have a car insurance, basic stuff, groceries. If that was, say, $2,000 a month, then technically you need to have $12,000 at some point. You need to strive for that. And these things take years to build, so do not be overwhelmed. It may take you 5 years to get to that point. That's okay. But that's what you want to work towards, having 6 months of expenses saved up. When you start investing, invest in companies with good track records. You know, think of some of the companies and the products that you use on a daily basis. You use Procter & Gamble products all the time. You know, what are those companies? How have they done? Do you hear a lot about them? Do you hear a lot of negative about them? Those are some of the things you want to think of when you think about investing. Invest in yourself, which you are doing today by being here, right? You are your number 1 product. You are your number 1 asset. You know, that's one thing my husband always says all the time. You try to take all these courses, I mean, you're trying to do all this stuff for other people. What are you doing for you? You put all this money in the stock market. What are you doing for you so that you can be educated, so you can learn, right? And then find multiple ways to generate income. I used to cut grass. I ain't know about y'all, but I had to have it. So if you do hair, you don't have to be a professional. Find a way to make you some money on the side. Tell people to come to your house. I'm gonna do your nails, girl. Find ways to generate income. Okay. So this is getting that money as it relates to saving. If you save $1 a day, that's $365. Just $1. $1 a day. Okay. The latte factor. This is something David M.O.G.U.L created, and it's basically those little things that we miscellaneously spend money on that we don't think about, like you go to Starbucks or you go to McDonald's every day, or whatever those things are that we do like really often and we don't think about. Like I go to the snack machine and I spend $1.50 at the snack machine every day. You don't think about that stuff, but it adds up, right? So when you start tracking your expenses and you see, you're gonna be like, I didn't know I was spending, $15 a week on this or whatever. What you want to do is reduce it. Again, I don't believe in cold turkey. I believe in balance. So I'm not saying never go to the snack machine. I'm saying maybe only go 3 days a week instead of 5 days a week. And then save the difference of the other 2 days. Okay? Save 30 to 50% of all tax refunds, lump sums, windfalls. You got a student loan refund, whatever. Try to save 30 to 50% of that and not touch it. Okay? Switch your cell phone plan to prepaid or flat rate plan. Everybody got a flat rate plan now, right? So you can save money. And the key to saving is you need to put that money somewhere where you are not going to touch it, right? So like my savings account that I don't have an ATM card to it. Because it's a savings account. What you need an ATM card for? No. I don't have, overdraft protection. No, because I ain't going to be overdrawing. Balance your check, right? Don't be giving the bank $30-something, or you give them $10 for them to transfer your money over to you. How you going to take $10 of my money to transfer my money over? That's crazy. No, ma'am. Okay, so now we have understanding your money. This is the rule of 72. Has anyone ever heard of the rule of 72? I see one shaking their head. Y'all, this is big. This is letting you know, how does your money make money? You've heard people say before, like, they live off interest. Or, I'm going to live off the interest my money is making. This is what they do. The rule of 72 is you take the number 72, you divide it by whatever the interest rate is, and whatever that is, that tells you typically how long does it take for your money to double. Okay? Layman's terms, 72. If you have a 2% interest rate, your money is in a savings account, it's getting 2%. Which if it's getting 2%, you're doing really, really good. The savings accounts are paying nothing right now. But if it's getting 2%, it would take your money 36 years to double. Yeah, I know. It's a long time. If it's doing 6% interest, it would double in 12 years. And if it's doing 12% interest, it would double in 6 years. That means $1,000 with 2% interest is $2,000 in 36 years, which is 2048. Can any of y'all wait until 2048?
No.
Okay. $1,000 with 6% interest in 2024 is $2,000, and with 12% interest in 2018. So the key is what? What is the key in this scenario? You want to find a product that pays a higher level of interest, right? The good thing that you guys have on your side right now is time. Y'all are young. So y'all have a lot of time for your money to double. A lot of time. And the thing with the doubling is, this is money that if you sat somewhere, you never added anymore. You just put $1,000 somewhere, you never touched it. It would become $2,000 on its own in 6 years if it was 12% interest, okay? But the good thing about the doubling is, it doubles on top of what it doubles. So if you have $1,000, it is 2, then it's 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and so on. So what that means is, if you start an IRA at 18 with $5,000, and you had a 12% rate of return, and you never added a penny, $5,000 and never added a penny, your money could turn into $1.3 million by the time you were 65.
I can't do it.
But it's okay. You don't have to have $5,000. If you start at 22 with $100 and add $50 a month, you could be a millionaire by the time you're 63. If you add $100 a month by 58, if you add $250 a month by 51, and so on and so forth. The point that I'm making is start. Start. If you start with $20 a month, okay, you want to start something. And right now you can start just by saving, just getting in the habit of saving. Okay. The earlier you start, the better. And you can see the difference. This 25-year-old, they can put $286 a month in. 35-year-old needs $671. A 45-year-old needs $16,000 to get to the same amount. Because the 45-year-old has 20 less years to work with, right? This is somebody that is getting 8% interest and they're living off of $5,000 a month. So that's how people live off. They have $1 million and they get $100,000 a year in interest and they never touch that $1 million, never depletes. It just makes $100,000 a year from them and they live off that. And then they leave the principal to their heirs, future generations. Right? So again, $20 a month, $5 a month, $1. Start. You want to get in the habit of doing it, okay? And then understanding risk. Understand your ability to tolerate loss or change or failure. Understand that risk is necessary to achieve success, right? You have to take risks. Learn your risk tolerance. Do whatever you can to minimize risk and don't be afraid to risk big to win. And then finally, learn from your mistakes. Don't lie and self-pity if you make a mistake. It's okay, because we all gonna make them, right? Recover quickly. Analyze to see what you can do differently. Don't let the fear of a mistake prevent you from taking advantage of an opportunity, right? A lot of times we get scared, you know, an opportunity presents itself and it looks so great and we get nervous. And sometimes we won't move forward because we're afraid of messing up. Don't do that, because you will miss out on something like really great. And don't keep doing the same things over and over again. If you're not getting the results that you desire, then you probably need to change it up. The 10,000 hour rule. This comes from a book called Outliers. Is anyone familiar with that? Basically what it says is to be great, it typically takes 10,000 hours of doing something to be great. So the Michael Jordans, the Oprahs, the Beatles, they said the Beatles performed 7 days a week, 6 shows a day for like 3 years before they became the Beatles. Okay, so in all that, you learn a lot, you're making a lot of mistakes, but you're perfecting your craft. So I say all that to say, to be the greats, they put time into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to put time into your craft. Experience versus observation. Sometimes if you see somebody going down the wrong road or they make a mistake, you ain't got to do it too. You can be like, oh, that was cool, I ain't got to do that. You know what I mean? And then Thomas Edison, he stated that he didn't fail 3,000 times when creating the light bulb. He just figured out 2,999 times how not to do it. It took him over 3,000 tries to create the light bulb. So you got to be patient. You're going to have some ups and downs when creating your craft, but it's all good. Okay? And these are just some other little tidbits. Adjust your goals and your budget as necessary. Take advantage of financial education programs. Find programs that are tailored for your interests, not just finance, but programs that are tailored to what you want to do. Read books to improve yourself and find a mentor. Okay? Those are some of my suggestions. And what we're going to do last, which is going to be fun, we're going to look at a profile of Oprah, who is a mogul, right? She's a mogul. If anybody is a mogul, Oprah is the one. Y'all tell me if you need more. Mike. Y'all need more? Good? Everybody have one? Okay, so let's look at Oprah. She is an alpha female, which is only 18% of women. Okay? So from looking at this, the alpha tends to be the most confident. She tends to act more like society expects a confident man to act. with money, which I thought that was interesting. And of course, it lists some of the type A alpha females, which are Madonna, Oprah, Angelina Jolie. She's optimistic, tolerates risk well, relies on herself, makes quick decisions, learns from her mistakes, which is something I didn't even know all this was in here. Okay? Let's look at some key facts about Oprah. Remember, one of the things we talked about was ownership, right? She is an owner, not a loaner, right? When you're loaning, you're paying someone else. When you own, they are paying you. She's the chairman and CEO of Harpo. She owns Oprah Winfrey Network. She's the co-founder of Oxygen. Okay? Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
Oxygen. She is ranked number 11 on Forbes 100 Most Powerful Women. She earned $165 million this year as of May 2012. So as of May, and I got 5 months in the year, baby. Okay? She believes in philanthropy and helping others, which you know she's done all kinds of things. And I think that's a big thing, which I did not mention in this presentation of M.O.G.U.L, is when you get, you have to give it back, right? So who much is given, much is required. So you have to be a giver, willing to help someone else, whether it's through finances, through time, through mentoring, you have to give back. Okay? In 2005, she donated $51.8 million, making her the 22nd highest contributor in the United States. And all of these rankings underneath here came from Forbes. 11th most powerful women, number 2 most powerful celebrity on the 100 list, number 1 most money made as a celebrity, number 1 in radio, TV, 13 in the press, 18 in social rank, and 19 in web. She's number 442 on the Forbes billionaire list. That's billionaire with B. 148, wealthiest person in the United States. 139 of the 400 richest people in America. Okay? And it lists some things. Remember we talked about ups and downs, right, in businesses? I was glad that it said this. So this year it says the Discovery, who helped launch her network, they lost $330 million between 2008 and the end of last year. So in 3 years they lost $330 million. So you're not always, it's not going to always be ups. It's going to be some downs, right? So you have to be willing to go with that. And what I did on this last page are some quotes from Oprah. I'm a big believer in positive affirmations, right? Talking to yourself, saying what you want to see, not saying what you don't want to see. Like you don't say, I don't want to be sick. You say, I am well, I'm healthy, and vibrant, and full of energy. Like you need to talk to yourself, because at certain times we're all going to have negative thoughts. You're going to have negative thoughts about your business, your career, your life, your family. So that's when you need to be saying some positive things to yourself. So I found these quotes that Oprah did, and I thought some of them were really, really good. So never take a no from somebody who isn't in the position to give you a yes in the first place. I like that. I just like to say that. Unless you choose to do great things with it, it makes no difference how much you are rewarded or how much power you have. Okay? I don't believe in failure. It is not failure if you enjoy the process. And I think that's great, because again, that goes back to the mistake thing. You're going to have some things that you make mistakes in, but what did you learn in the process, okay? So I gave these to you all for your reference. So I hope that you use them, and I hope you create your own positive affirmations as well. Thank you guys so much. I enjoyed you all so much. Yes. And I have cards that I'm going to pass around to you guys, and I know we're on like a tight schedule, so if you all have any personal questions you want to ask about finance or just anything you want to ask me, you're welcome to. I do mentoring as well. My phone number is on the card. You're welcome to call me, email me, send me a text. I have a blog, which is my name, Lanisha McElveen. It's called The Discount Diva. So